Now officially, using repetition or for loops to display our arrays. So before the previous page, were doing this. We created our array, we placed some values into the array, and now we want to display it just to make sure it's all there. We would have had to have done it one line at a time. The only thing that we would have had to have changed is the numbers. That would really stink if we had an array of 150 values in it. The nice part is now with the loop, this is it. This is the only thing. Notice, by the way, it's still the same number. I went ahead and did int test size of 10, and here I just use a variable. Instead of, we have for I is equal to 0, I is less than the test size, which is 10, I plus plus, all of those 150 lines, just bear with me here, now get dropped to 1. All of these 10, there's only 10 items, still, this one for loop will take care of all of it. That's the beautiful part of translating from here and now using for loops to get the exact same thing done. Now, be careful, by the way. The test size variable is really, really important. Could you place a value 10 in there? Yes, theoretically, but we're trying to get you away from that as well, because what if I wanted to change the size of the array? Really, that should be a variable too, but we want to be able to change a variable size quickly. We would just change one variable and then it would reflect in everything else. So we'll talk about that more later. So this last part is really important because of, frankly, the variables that I was talking about before. Pretend at the time I created this, there was 30 stores. 30 stores is great because in max will reflect 30. Every time I saw max will reflect 30. What if I have 150 stores now? What is the only spot that I would have to fix to make everything work with 150? Is right here. Change that to 150. This max will be 150. That max will be 150. If I had set these values to 30, then I had to go back through the entire program and change that to 30, that one to 30. I know some of you are thinking, well, just do the Control H. What happens if there's two numbers that are similar to one another and they have two different applications? That's the problem. So using this type of method is going to be much more, well, frankly, fruitful in the long run because they all measure up to be exactly the same. And if you need to change one value, you change it just in one spot. The rest of them will reflect it. But also notice again, easy for loop to display everything, different application. We still have that delete at the end of that one. Matter of fact, to be honest with you, there should be a delete on this one. So if somebody remind me, I'll change that. But here's our nice setup now using for loops.